The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. And here we are on another Thursday. We're here every Thursday. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we're talking back live to you. We're going to be here for a whole full hour, and we want to invite you all to come in, one and all. And we get together each week at this time for a little bit of conversation. And of course, anything goes here as far as conversation is concerned because it's free form. And with the conversation, we want to invite everyone that comes in. Now, a lot of you guys have been around with us for a very long time. We understand that. And we want to thank you so much for being along with us all of these years. All right. For the benefit of the people who are here for the very first time, we want to welcome you all. Let me tell you what the show is all about. All right. Just let me give you a little taste of how it really goes. Now, how it really goes is that I, as the host, get things going. And I throw out the conversation, right? That doesn't mean we have to linger on the conversation. That only means that I'm just going to get started with it. And of course, at any time at all, you can get involved right now. Use your keyboard on your computer, your cell phone, or your tablet, or any other device that you may use that may have a computer screen and a keyboard. Just type in whatever you want to talk about it. I will see you right there on the big screen. And of course, I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas. That's what the show is all about. We're going to be doing that. And of course, you may have difference of opinions about anything. Of course, we share opinions around here. That's what we do. And of course, we like to share your opinions. All right. And I know that you have a lot of them. So we want to hear from you to see what you have to say. Okay. And if there's anything in particular that you want to talk about, anything at all that you want to talk about, feel free. Let us know what it is, type it in, and of course, we'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas. That's what the show is all about, the free exchange of opinions and ideas, and we want to hear some of your ideas and see what you have to think about it. Okay, we're going to move on with the show, and of course, as I said, a whole full hour here, and of course, we want all of you people who are new to know that we're live on 3 different places. We're live here on YouTube. We're also on Instagram and Facebook as well. And of course, you can choose any one of those platforms that you'd like. And whatever platform you use, it doesn't really matter because it's right there for you. And you can talk about anything you want to talk about. So that's what it's all about. And use the platforms, anyone, okay? And of course, we'll talk about anything, as I said, that you want to talk about and get things going. So remember that, all right? Now, also, tell your family and friends about the show. Let them know what it's all about. Let them know that we're here for them just as like we're here for you, all right? And if you're watching us on any platform, you're watching us live on one of those platforms that you're watching us on, cut and paste the platform. Just cut and paste the platform that you're on. That's the link to wherever you are watching us right now, and send it to your friends. It's just like a tag to let them know that you're there and you invite them there as well. And do as many as you like, as many as you like, as many as you can. You have a lot of friends on your Facebook, on your YouTube, on your Instagram. Just cut and paste it and let them know that we're out here, okay? Because that's what we want. We want the more the merrier. The more the merrier. If they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again, just like you. And of course, they can be part of the family as well. All right. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, this is where our platform is now. It used to be Facebook. That was our go-to platform. Okay. That was once our go-to platform, and I would like to say the flagship platform. So our new flagship platform right now is YouTube. That's where we do the flagshipping. However, we will still post this show at the end of the night, and you'll get the chance to see it on Facebook. Now you'll ask, well, what happened? Why is there changes? We couldn't find you last night, and that's one of the things I want to apologize to all of you for. Now, 2 nights in a row we did this show, and 2 nights in a row, I would say 2 weeks in a row. Last week, the week before, we were not on live. Now, the week before, we knew we weren't on live because we couldn't even get on at all. And we found out later that was a Facebook situation because we check everything that we do. We do a lot of checks before we go on the air. Microphone checks, camera checks, we check in with Zoom. Everything was okay with them. And it wasn't until Facebook when we couldn't figure out why we couldn't get on. It was just a technical problem. So we had to cancel the show altogether. The following week, which was last week, we were on live and we went through the whole 9 yards. And it wasn't up until Brian informed me while he was doing the sports that he couldn't pick us up on his Facebook. He couldn't pick us up on Facebook. We weren't broadcasting on Facebook. And I monitored my Facebook and it was on there. But what I didn't know is that sometime when you do these shows, you have a selection, whether you want your show to go public, private, or for certain friends. All right. And we always put it on public because we want everyone to see this show. What would be the purpose if we didn't do it that way? It's a public show. It's all over the world. And we found out later on, we couldn't even do that. It was on private. And we tried to switch it on to public and it wouldn't do that. So 2 weeks in a row, you guys missed out on us if you were watching us on Facebook. We were on YouTube and Instagram, but we just weren't on Facebook. So that's why we decided to shift the platform from Facebook to YouTube. So we're live. This is our new YouTube is our new go-to platform. That's our flagship platform. That's where we originate, and then everything follows suit. So that's what we're doing from now on. And so far, it looks like everything is okay. So a lot of people may not be able to, they're probably figuring that they can't pick us up on Facebook. They didn't get the message yet. It was promoted out there, though, but maybe they didn't get it yet. Eventually, they will. And for those of you who did, we thank you so much. Just pass the word along. That's what we're asking you to do. Just pass the word along to all of the people that you know and let them know that this is the shift that we're making. Okay, so that's where we are right now. And so far, we're doing good. Okay, so we're going to keep it that way. Okay, we've got a lot of things to do on the show today. And of course, we've got things coming up. Brian Camp is coming along with us because that's one of the things that we do. We have our own little thing on the show that we do. Ryan Camp is going to come along with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He's coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And he's going to be here and he's going to deliver the sports for us. That doesn't change. None of that changes. And so that's what we're looking forward to. Now, if you have any questions for Brian as far as sports things go, let him know. Get the questions together right away. Get the questions together right away because we'll be looking forward to that. And once we do that, we'll have him all. And then while he's doing the sports, you'll have the questions for him, and all you have to do is just type it in, and he'll see it. And of course, he'll answer the questions if he has the answers at that particular time. If he doesn't have the answer, by golly, he will get the answers. Okay. Now, those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Instagram, they don't get the luxury of seeing Brian. You can see him on Facebook. You can see him on YouTube because he'll be on screen, and you'll get a chance to see him as he talks. But on Instagram, we don't have the luxury. We're live on Instagram as well, but we don't have the luxury of actually putting him on the air. You don't get a chance to see him, but you'll get a chance to hear him, and that's the only difference. Nothing else changes. You can still ask the questions. And if he doesn't see you, of course, I monitor everything as well, and then we'll, of course, get the questions and the answers, and then everybody's going to be happy, all right? Also, later on in the program, we have this thing, what we call this day in history. Now, I have a laundry list of everything that goes down on this day in history. All right. I have a laundry list there. And something happened on this day in history. Something always happens on this day in history and every day on this day in history. So here we are. It's June 12th, and something happened then. So I have a laundry list of a lot of things that happened history wise, things that you may remember that happened on this day, June 12th. Well, I have that coming up, and that's coming up later on in the program. And before the show is over, we're going to also give you the movies. Now, each week, being that the weekend is on us, upon us, or on its way, uh, each week we dip into Turner Classic Movies. That's what I do. We go into Turner Classic Movies, and what I do is that I pick up my picks of the week for your weekend. Now, a lot of you may be doing a lot of things on the weekend, and by golly, I got to tell you, summertime is just about here, officially, just about here. And people are going to be doing a lot of things on the weekends, outdoor activities, and a whole lot of things. And then some of you people may want to just take the weekend and just relax because sometimes for some people, the weekend is all they get and they just want to relax. And or maybe continue to do the barbecuing and everything that goes along with summertime, do all of that. But one of the things you might want to take a little time out to catch up on some movies. So that's where I come in. So I go on Turner Classic Movies and I pick out my picks of the week, and then I relay them to you to add to your bucket list of what to watch for the weekend. And even though that you are resourceful and you have all of these services like Netflix and Paramount Plus and all these other great places, I just figure I just throw my 2 cents in with the movie. So I just want you to add that to your bucket list. So that's all coming up right here on Talk Back Live. We hope that you stay with us. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Thank you again for being with us. And yes, it is June. And June, you know, you celebrate a lot of things in June, right? We've got a lot of things coming up in June. And one of the things that we're celebrating in June, you might want to get ready for this, jot it down because it's very important. And all month long, we're going to be talking about this all month long. June, we're celebrating Portuguese Heritage Month. That's one of the things that we're celebrating this month. So all of my friends from Portugal or all those other places that you know, all right, all of those places, all right, in your community, you give us a little history. We'll talk about that. All you have to do is just type it in, as I said, and we'll talk about that as well. So that's what we're celebrating too, that. And that's a great thing to celebrate, right? So all of my friends from Portugal, if whether you're in Portuguese or in Portugal watching us, that's good too. All right, because we're all around the world and global. We celebrate you. Also, we celebrate Caribbean American Heritage Month as well. That's all here. And again, we're broadcasting in the Caribbean as well. We're right there. So whether you're watching us right there in the Caribbean or all of you people who migrated from the Caribbean here to the United States and you live here, you have things going on in the community, in the Caribbean community, anything that's festive, let's talk about it. Tell us because we want to celebrate you as well. It's Pride Month too. It's Pride Month. And of course, celebrations are in order with that too. And you want to talk about that? That's all open forum. We could talk about that too. Parades and all of those festivities are coming up. And if you have any particular festivities that you want to promote here about Pride Month, let us know. We'll talk about it. We get it on. And that's what it's all about. So we're celebrating all these things. Now, if you're so inclined, you can wish me a happy National DJ Month. That's what it is. It's National DJ Month for all of my friends in radio and even in the clubs, the guys, so we can't forget them too, who spin the records in the clubs. They break them, they make them. And so this is our month to shine. National DJ Month for all of my friends, all of my friends who are in radio, and of course the club DJs as well, even the mobile DJs, all of you guys. So happy National DJ Month to all of you out there. Okay, African American Music Month. Now that's what we have. Now that goes good with Caribbean Heritage Month because in the Caribbean, if you ever been to the Caribbean, you know that they have some great music, great food, and all of that, right? And so it's National African American Music Month. Now that could be the Caribbean month. It could be the Motown sound. It could be the doo-wops back in the 50s, all of that from African American music month. So there you go. And you pick your own favorite music. That's something that you want to talk about as well, something that you remember, some of your favorite African American sounds, jazz, all of that. It's right there. And we can talk about that too. Also, it's National Soul Food Month. I think everybody should have a taste of soul food every now and then, right? You really should, you know. It revs you up. So that's what we're celebrating too. It's also National Iced Tea Month. And of course, I don't have mine with me, but you get the idea. And it's a good time to drink iced tea. It's getting warm out there. And you also have National Candy Month. What is your favorite candy? I don't know. What is your favorite candy? Whatever it is, that's what it is. It's National Candy Month. National, and we also have Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month. So eat your veggies and your fruits. I know you don't want to eat 5 servings a day. You have supplements for that, but you know, every once in a while, get a little vegetables and fruit in you. They're very healthy. And of course, not last but not least, it's National Adopt a Cat Month. If you have a cat, be very nice to your little kitty. That's what we're doing. Also, we can't forget this weekend is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of you guys. And I wish you the best. And I hope that day goes good for you. Okay, Sly Stone, the leader of the band Sly and the Family Stone, one of the most influential bands in the development of funk, soul, R&B, rock, and psychedelic music, has died. Sly and the Family Stone's member included 2 of his actual siblings, and they released a massive hits of like Dance to the Music, Everyday People, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again. However, his drug and behavior affected his drug habit and behavior affected the group, which split up for good in the 80s. He was 82 years old. Brian Wilson, the pop music genius and singer who co-founded the Beach Boys, has died. The musician's family announced the death on Wednesday in an Instagram posting featuring Brian's picture. And he was born June 20th in 1942 in Inglewood, California. Wilson was the eldest child among his siblings, including Dennis and Carl, who were born in 1944 and 1946, respectively. From an early age, he was said to have an aptitude of music with 2 biographies. Inside the music of Brian Wilson, the song, the sounds, and influence of the Beach Boys' founding genius, and Wouldn't It Be Nice? Brian Wilson and the making of the Beach Boys, and Pet Sounds. He was 82 years old. Former MTV VJ Ananda Lewis has died, and her death was announced in a Facebook post on Wednesday. Lewis became well known in 1997 when she was hired to be the MTV VJs, hosting shows like Total Request Live, The Hot Zone, and in 1999, the New York Times dubbed her as the hip hop generation's reigning it girl. She left MTV in 2001 to host her own talk show, which was called the Ananda Lewis Show. She was 52 years old. It's time to go to Charlotte, North Carolina right now. And because Brian Camp is hanging out, waiting for us patiently, because he has the latest developments in today's world of sports. Now, I must tell you again, if you have any sports questions, any sports related questions, please feel free. And he'll answer the questions for you. And we'll have all of that going for you. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I didn't know I didn't know Sly passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, he passed away early this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
No idea.
I know. He was one of my favorites back then. We talked about this a lot of times. We went to his wedding, which was live at Madison Square Garden. That was a spectacle.
I remember that night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got smacked in the mouth for shouting out, "What is that smell?" And
That story.
yeah. you know the story, but behind that. So
Yeah,
I was shocked, and that's when I knew about
you're
drugs.
free to tell.
Not that I took drugs, but that's
You're
why I
free to, yeah, you're free to tell the story if you want. You're free. You want to take
went
time?
to Madison Square Garden with my mother and my two brothers, and it was a historical night. As you know, Madison Square Garden is the mecca of all arenas, not only for sports but for concerts and shows and wrestling. You know, Madison Square Garden is the place to be. You see all the stars that come out, and went to a concert with the family, and as a little kid, I had to been no more than 10, 11 years old. And I yelled out, "Mommy, what's that smell?" And next thing you know, my mouth was like twisted because I didn't know what I was, didn't know that I couldn't call out what's that smell. And it was marijuana. You know, they did those things. And, my mother did not was intended for me to smell that, because that's what they do in concerts back in those days. That's what it was. You got to understand that we just came out of Woodstock. So
Yeah,
Woodstock would be who you are, be who you be, and do what you do and everything. So, and that's when I probably caught a contact high on that night, and Sly Stone got married on stage in front of millions of people at Madison Square Garden and throughout the world and everything. So
yeah.
that's when I knew. But
It was sad to lose him and Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and Ananda Lewis. She was an MTV VJ, and she was only 52 years old.
yeah,
It's a grim week. It was a grim week in that department.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's been rough. It's been really rough and everything. Sly Stone just had a documentary on him. For what channel was that? I think it was on Netflix or it was somewhere. I forgot the channel. Hulu.
yeah, you could still watch that too.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name of it just yet. It'll come to me eventually, but you can go on, just type in Sly Stone and it'll pop up.
that's right. That's right.
Out of curiosity, can you see what do you see? And my, because we're on, as you already know, on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook. And I cannot see no comments. I can't see nobody making comments. I don't even know who's out there.
Well,
Uh,
there's no comments, but do you see you? But you see the side where it says live chat, right? You see that next to the if you're on Facebook, you got to see that. Well, that's where the comments. Nobody's commenting yet, but that's where
Not
you
on
see it.
Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I
No,
can't even get on. I can't
I'm
get
talking
Facebook
I'm talking about YouTube.
on
You're
YouTube.
on YouTube. You're on YouTube, aren't you?
I'm on YouTube. I'm looking at another monitor, and no, I'm on YouTube, but there's nothing. There's no
You don't see
comments.
that area where the pop up will someone will say something or somebody will pop up or say something. You don't see that area.
No, not at
If
all.
you're on, if you're on YouTube, you have to see it. It's right next to where you are. You're broadcasting right now. I can't believe it. I
Uh,
can't. Well,
unless
somebody,
unless only maybe you can because you're the host.
yeah, but no, that's no that because even if someone else pops and they see me and they like Mary came in here last week and she typed in and you could see it.
Mm,
So if Mary can get on there and you're on it and you're just monitoring it, well,
yeah,
listen, if anybody pops up and says something, I'll let you know, or you'll see it yourself. Whatever.
sounds good.
Anyway,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, any parts of the world, or depending on your time zone that you may be. Yeah, I'm coming live from Charlotte, North Carolina, known as the Queen City of Charlotte. And here to greet you with some sports. It is presently 81 degrees with isolated thunderstorms as we speak. Rain throughout the night into early morning hours. But it was a It was a day that wasn't too bad. It was 88 degrees was the high today. It was kind of humid. Had to put the AC on for a moment. Didn't want to put it on too much. And it's summer. Summer is here. We're in the month of June. Here we are. We're going to try to celebrate. We will. I know I will celebrate. Juneteenth is coming up. Um, we probably going to go to a couple of things. There's coming up this weekend, so definitely would like to go to see some of the culture of Juneteenth. As you know, Juneteenth is recognized through African Americans of slavery being officially over in 1865. It was officially over in 1863, but in Galveston, Texas, it wasn't recognized until 2 years later. In those days, they kept a lot of things. There was no social media, there was no news, no TV, no radio in those days. But by the time they got to it, slavery was over, and this is why we celebrate Juneteenth to commemorate of our history. So I want to say Juneteenth is a lot of celebrations coming up on the 19th and on this here weekend into next week as well. But in sports, not much happening. My team was watching the San Francisco Giants had a lead. They won seven in a row. They led 4-0 and then 7-3. And then by the time I got back to to see the final score of the last two innings, they lost. They lost the game 8-7. So I'm a little ticked off right now because we got to play those guys in Southern California known as the Dodgers over the weekend. So I'll be watching that as well. And right now the Giants are in second place. The Dodgers are the defending world champions. So they are who they are. So, we just get ready for a three-game series, and it's gonna be rough, but we're gonna come up, we're gonna show up, we're not gonna lay down. But this day in sports, June 12th, 1907, the New York Highlanders, later became the New York Yankees, committed 11 errors and lose 14-6 to the Tigers. 11 errors. What kind of players? They had to have been playing some kind of custodian team or something who didn't know anything about baseball, but 11 errors is a lot of errors in one game. 1922, the St. Louis Cardinals make Major League Baseball record of 10 consecutive hits in the sixth inning. 1939, Major League Baseball Hall of Fame was dedicated to Cooperstown, New York. That's when it was officially been moved to Cooperstown, New York for the Hall of Fame. 1957, Stan the Man Musial plays in his 823rd game. That's a new nationally consecutive game streak. 1973, New York Yankee pitchers Mike Kekich, Lowell Palmer traded wives swapping. True story. This is a true story. They actually swap wives and marry them. And these are two teammates. This actually happened. It was on TV not too long ago, maybe like 10, 15 years ago. And I don't know how they agreed to do that, but they actually swapped wives, and I guess they got tired of one another, and they said, "Hey, let's make a trade, like a baseball trade. I'll take your wife, you take my wife," and it worked out, I guess. 1981, baseball players began a 50-day strike. That's their third strike. 1981, baseball players, 1990, Oakland A's outfielder Ricky Henderson becomes the second player to steal 900 bases. Lou Brock did that. 1991, Bulls defeated the LA Lakers in Game 5 for their first title. That's their first championship. Michael Jordan was named Finals MVP. 1996, Marge Schott gives up her duties as owner because comments she made pertaining to Adolf Hitler, women working, and Asian people. Yeah, Marge was some kind of female owner. She didn't bite her tongue, and she said some racist things in her time. So yes, but she was relieved of her duties. 1997, the first ever Major League Baseball season interleague game play was the San Francisco Giants defeating the Texas Rangers 4-3. Birthdays on this date. Happy birthday, 1941 to yes, Marvelous Albert, sportscaster for NBC, MSG, and TNT, was born in New York City, New York. You know, he's the voice of New York sports. He is legendary. I mean, this man, when I was a kid, I said to myself, how does he work at Madison Square Garden, working a New York Knicks game, home games where it ends around approximately 10 o'clock, shoots down from 34th Street and 7th Avenue all the way to Rockefeller Center to do the 11 o'clock, 11:15 sportscaster on NBC. I always wonder, how did he do it? Not only was he the Nick voice, he was the Rangers voice, and he's legendary. He is legendary. One of my favorite all-time announcers. He had his whole family in the broadcast business. He got two brothers, Al Albert and Steve Albert, and his son, I forgot his son's name. Um, He's also a commentator. In fact, he's the voice of the New York Rangers, and he does NFL football. So him and his son Marv Albert was also a boy, one of those basketball boys who used to pick up the towers and hand it over to the players. So happy birthday, Marvelous, and that's his name, Marvelous Marv Albert. 1974, Kerry Kittles, NBA guard for the New Jersey Nets, was born in Dayton, Ohio. In 1979, Dallas Clark, NFL tight end, Super Bowl champion in 2006, was born in South Dakota. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a rainy thunderstorm night here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And don't you dare send that thunderstorm over this way. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
We have enough rain going along, and we're doing pretty good so far. You want to know how Marv Albert did what he did? Marv Albert is the guy that that wears that cape and that shirt with the S on it, and he jumps out the window and he flies. That's how he gets there.
Yeah. Marv Albert. It's amazing as a kid, because I used to listen to the Knick games that, during those times in the 70s. We didn't have cable. You could only listen to Knick games at home at Madison Square Garden. Game usually ends around 9:45, 10 o'clock the latest if it goes into overtime. But yet he had time enough to come on NBC Sports, because he did local news there in New York City. And he was, I don't know if he caught a cab or what, but he would get there in time to catch us. As he got older, Len Berman started doing the sportscast on NBC, but Marv Albert was legendary, and he's retired now, and I'm happy for him. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
Kenny Albert is his son's name.
Kenny Albert.
Kenny Albert.
Yeah. Well, he's enjoying the fruits of his labor, which he is well deserved. And by the way, he was the one that came up, as you mentioned earlier, he came up with the thing, yes. And everyone around the world says that. And a lot of people not knowingly, they say it, but they don't know where it really came from.
That's right.
It is. Hey, isn't it ironic that your Giants is going to play your rivals this weekend? Don't feel bad, because my Yankees are going to be playing my rivals. Only this time they're going to Boston. They played at Yankee Stadium last weekend, but now they're going to Boston to play the Boston Red Sox. So,
and last week the game was on national TV, the Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah.
This weekend on Sunday Night Baseball, Giants and Dodgers are going to be on national TV.
Yeah. I only learned about that by watching the Yankee game Sunday, when they mentioned the fact that they were going to, because it's Sunday Night Baseball, they play different teams, on Sunday night, and that's how I learned that the Dodgers was going to play the Giants that day. As a matter of fact, they played that whole weekend. So, hey, fingers crossed for your Giants, and I got my fingers crossed for the Yankees. I hope they never got along. They were always a rival. The
Yeah,
Yankees.
they've been fighting. Bats been thrown for years. Yankees and Red Sox are known for a big rivalry. Giants and Dodgers, they do not like one another. It's like mixing bleaching and ammonia together. So
Yeah.
look out. It's gonna be epic. So
And then
it
back in the
really is.
1960s, back in the 1960s, your Dodgers, I remember it very well. I remember the game so well. Ron Marichal and Johnny Goldsboro.
Juan
Got
Marichal.
yeah.
I
He,
think he threw a bat. He tried to
he hit
swing
it.
a bat at him. Yeah, he
Swung a
did.
bat at him. Actually,
Yeah,
he hit him.
yeah,
He
yeah,
hit him.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know. And then later on, they became friends before
Yeah.
Johnny Goldsboro died. They
Yeah,
became
Juan Marichal apologized for his
yeah,
action, but it
yeah,
was baseball, that's a rivalry. They started in New York, one was in Brooklyn, one was in uptown Manhattan. They
yeah,
moved out west,
yeah,
so they carried the rivalry back then. Forgot to mention the NBA Finals last night. The Indiana Pacers took a 2-1 game series over the Oklahoma City Thunder. So now tomorrow night is pivotal. It's a must game for Oklahoma City to try to even the series. If not, they'll be down 3-1. So they're trying to tie up the series at 2-2. So it's
yeah.
going to be Friday night. You better be watching this
Ah.
game. I mean,
Brian,
it's
out of curiosity, you're monitoring YouTube, right?
yeah,
You actually see what's going on YouTube.
yeah. Actually, watching. I'm watching
Okay,
myself.
and you mean to tell me on the left side of that screen, I'm sorry, on the right side of that screen, you don't see the live chat window.
The only thing it says on the right hand side, it just says Zoom. That's all it says.
No, I'm talking about next to the screen, outside of that screen, next to it.
Nope, don't see it.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Well, you need to ask somebody. Try to ask
Yeah.
somebody if they come on to see if they, because I can't chat with anybody. I can't say hello to Mary because Mary is the one who was one of our
Well,
regulars to come on here. I
yeah.
can't say hello to her.
Well, well. The lucky thing, no one came on, so I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. But listen, I promote this whole thing, and it's going to take a little time before we regenerate more viewers.
Well,
Make
I'll be honest with you. I hope that you can go back on Facebook because with Facebook Live, you can actually see everybody. You can actually see everybody's comments. That's the thing.
yeah, but you should be able to see it on here too.
Can't see anything. I'm on YouTube. YouTube, you cannot see nobody's comments.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're not going to be here tomorrow.
No, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I got a slew of doctor's appointments coming up, so I will not be there. I will send you my information. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, before I get off the air, shout out to this day is very special to me and to you as well. This is the day where our grandmother passed away 47 years ago, June 12th.
Yeah.
And I want to just give a shout out to our grandmother who may she continue to rest in God's arms and
Yeah.
how may her memories still be instilled in her in us as well too.
That's the lady that spoiled me rotten.
Yeah.
That's why I always used to like to go to her house on the weekend
She used
because
to give me,
when I couldn't get away at home, I walked on water with her.
yeah. And
The
she
only
used to, and listen, she used to get mad at me. But she used to give me, she go in her purse. She said, don't look in my hand. And she give me a wrinkled, balled up $1 bill.
yeah,
$1 bill had to straighten it up though. Because she kept all her dollars inside her purse.
yeah,
And I always
yeah,
remember she used to ball it up. But I
yeah,
used to stretch it out and
yeah. Yeah.
iron it out.
The only catch was staying with her on the weekends. I was always forced to watch the Lawrence Welk show. Oh,
Yeah.
I used to like that show. God bless her. God bless her.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian. We'll catch you back here next week anyway.
Sounds good. Take care, everybody. Be
All right.
safe.
Take care of yourself. Take care. That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Of course, he's going to be with us. He won't be with us tomorrow. Not tomorrow. So he's going to send us information. We're going to take care of all of his sports. We're going to take care of all of that tomorrow. But he will be back here next week on Talk Back Live, and then we'll figure out whether or not he's going to be back at the coffee hour next week. But in the meantime, I'm going to take care of all of that. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we're talking back live to you. We're going to be with you for a whole hour. Well, we ate up most of the hour, but we're going to be here for the remaining minutes that we have, another 20 minutes or so. And we want you to stay along with us. Make sure that you get your friends. And we're just waiting for hopefully people just catch on with us, because as I said, flagship platform was Facebook. We're no longer doing that right now. But they're having so much problems with that, with our show getting on there. So it's like, and we went through the test early yesterday to see if we could fix the problem. The problem is unfixable right now. I don't know what their problem is. I don't even understand Facebook anymore. I don't even. But we could always repost the show. You could always catch it on there if you don't catch it live. Okay, I think it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen, to go back in time on this day in history. Okay, because on this day in history, back in 1923, Harry Houdini frees himself from a straitjacket while suspended upside down 40 feet above ground level in New York City. On this day in history in 1954, Bill Haley and the Comets releases the hit single Rock Around the Clock. On this day in history in 1955, TV comedy Mr. Peebles, starring Wally Cox, airs for the last time on NBC. On this day in history in 1958, Make Me Laugh, TV game show, last aired on ABC, and then it was syndicated back in 1979. On this day in history in 1960, KORN, which is now KDLT TV, Channel 5 over there in Mitchell, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, ABC station. They began broadcasting. Back in 1963, Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, premieres in New York City. Back in 1963, American civil rights activist Medgar Evers is assassinated by white supremacist Byron de la Beckwith in Jackson, Mississippi. Back in 1964, Nelson Mandela is sentenced to life in prison in South Africa. In 1965, Sonny and Cher make their first TV appearance on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. In 1967, You Only Live Twice. That's the fifth James Bond film starring Sean Connery. It premieres in London. Back in 1970, Janis Joplin debuts in Kentucky. In 1972, Apple Records releases John Lennon and Yoko Ono's political album Sometime in New York City in the United States. 1976, Yes, Yes, Yes is a single done by Bill Cosby that made number 46 on the hit charts. In 1977, the groundbreaking ceremony for John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum took place in Boston, Massachusetts. In 1978, U.S. House of Representatives allows live radio coverage. In 1981, Raiders of the Ark, starring Harrison Ford, premieres. 1989, Dr. Doctor TV comedy starring Matt Freer. Matt Frewer debuts on CBS TV. In 1990, Mariah Carey's debut album is released. 1991, Boris Yeltsin wins Russia's first presidential election with 57% of the vote. In 1997, Batman and Robin, starring George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Chris McDonald, premieres in Los Angeles. In 1915, David Rockefeller, CEO of Chase Manhattan Bank, that was what it was called back then, was born in Manhattan in New York, and he died in 2017. The 41st President of the United States, George H.W. Bush, was born on this day in 1924 in Milton, Massachusetts. He died November 30th, 2018, at the age of 94 years old. On this day in history in 1928, singer Vic Damone was born in Brooklyn, New York. He died in 2018. Jewish victim and diatress of the Holocaust, Anne Frank, was born on this day in 1929 in Frankfurt, Germany. She died February 21st, 1945, at the age of 15 years old. The cause of death was typhus in a German concentration camp. In 1930, comedian, actor, singer Jim Nabors of Gomapile, USMC, was born in Alabama, and he died in 2017. In 1941, jazz artist Chick Corea was born in Chelsea, Massachusetts, and he died in 2021. On this day in history in 1942, singer Len Barry from a group called the Dovells with the Bristol Stomp. Later on, he went on to a solo act and recorded 1, 2, 3. And he was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He died in 2020. Back in this day in 1944, soul singer Maurice Jackson from the Independents, it's an R&B group. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. He's 81 today. On this day in history, 1948, soul singer Lynn Collins, who was in the James Brown stable, she did that song, Think About It. She was known as the female preacher, and she was born in Dime Box, Texas. She died in 2005. In 1957, on this day in history, jazz artist Jerry Allan was born in Pontiac, Michigan. She died in 2017. In 1970, Fleetwood Mac drummer Mac Fleetwood, also the leader of the group, weds Jenny Boyd. They got divorced in 1975. In 1994, astronaut Neil Armstrong marries second wife Carol Held Knight. Back in 1997, rapper Snoop Dogg weds high school sweetheart Shantae Taylor in Marina del Rey, California. In 1999, actor David Arquette weds actress Courtney Cox in San Francisco, California. In 1957, big band leader Jimmy Dorsey dies of throat cancer at the age of 53 years old. Actress Norma Shearer died on this day in 1983 at the age of 80 years old from bronchial pneumonia. She was born August 10th, 1902, and she was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. In 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were murdered, and she was 35, he was 27. In 2002, fashion designer Bill Blass dies at the age of 79 years old. Actor Gregory Peck died on this day in 2003 at the age of 87 years old from bronchial pneumonia. He was born April 5th, 1916 in San Diego, California. Actress Sylvia Miles of the movie Midnight Cowboy and Farewell My Love died at the age of 94 years old. In 2023, actor Treat Williams dies from injuries sustained in a motorcycle accident at the age of 71. And finally, in 2024, actor Tony LeBlanco from The French Connection dies of prostate cancer at the age of 87 years old. And so that's what's happening on this day in history. If you happen to know what's happening on this day in history and we didn't mention anything, of course, you're going to inform us as well, aren't you? You're going to give us a little something that you know, knowledge, because we don't know everything. Of course, every once in a while we come up with something clever, but we always help you and we always depend on you to help us out in that department too. If you'd like to get in touch with me, I have an email address and a telephone number, which I would like you to take down, because if you want to get in touch with me for any reason, you can do that. All you have to do is just be a little proactive. And I'll give you the email address first. Email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. And of course, you can contact us that way. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641 715 3900, extension 467134. That's 641 715 3900, extension 467134. Remember, you don't have to contact me for any specific reason. You could contact me for any reason. Okay. If you have a birthday coming up and you would like us to announce it, if you don't want to come out here and do it yourself, we will do it for you. If you'd like to talk about the show or maybe critique the show, which we highly recommend that you do because we like to know where you stand with us as we stand with you. And maybe there's something that you would like to see on the show that recommend that we implement in the show. Of course, so we listen to everyone. And keep all of this information wherever you go, particularly in your cell phones or your other electronic devices, such as your computers, whether it's laptop, desktop, or tablets, whatever. Keep that information because whenever you need it, it'll be right there at your disposal. Okay. And so let me give you that email address once again. It's frankallenprod at AOL.com. That's frankallenprod at AOL.com. The telephone number, once again, is 641 715 3900, extension 467134. That's 641 715 3900, extension 467134. Hell broke loose in Los Angeles. As you already know, you heard the story already. And of course, POTUS had sent out the military out there for whatever reason I will never understand because there was no rioting. There were like peaceful protests out there. And it started the other day, and they're protesting now. And not only protesting in Los Angeles, but all across the country. We had some protests here in New York, in Chicago, all of the other major cities, they're protesting. And it all has to do with the sending people away, with the illegal aliens, as they call it, no questions asked, no due process, no nothing. They're criminals, and that's the story. That's the bottom line. They're just criminals. I didn't say that. They did. So you have all of these things going along right now. And of course, I must mention earlier before I went on the air, we got the story of Senator Alex Paral from California. He's a senator from California. Was taken down. He was escorted into the building, and then he was taken down in handcuffs for no reason at all, only because of the fact that he wanted to ask a question to Secretary Christine Noll, who went on Fox later on and lied that he would never identify himself, which he did because it's all on tape, it's all on film. I've seen it, I've heard it. He identified himself, and he just wanted to ask a question that she refused to answer or was incapable of answering. And you always wonder, this situation, this administration, when you figure if they can't get any lower, I don't think there's any rock bottom with this administration because whenever there's a limitation to everything. There's a rock bottom to everything. But in this administration, when you think they have gone to the lowest level, there's more to come. There's a big drop. So there's an infinity sign down there that just never stops. And ladies and gentlemen, this situation that happened in Los Angeles is happening, and it's going to happen in a lot of cities. They even talked about in New York. A lot of interesting things are going to be coming up. And it's just one of those things that people are just wondering, when is it going to stop? But ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things, the reason why we're going through this, for a lot of reasons, a lot of people stayed home when it was voting time. And then a lot of you have voted thinking that you are going to be up in the upper level of all of this among everybody else. And we were the only ones. And I have said it many times on this show, you are going to be in the trenches with the rest of us. And now you are. And now you're crying, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Why did this happen to me? Woe is me. Okay. So there's more to come. You just have to stay on top of the news. I was totally heartbroken when I saw that footage today. It's all on the news. If you haven't seen it yet, they're not going to stop playing it. You'll see more on the news. And then when this show is over, you can go back to the news. I've got some movies, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to talk about. And this week I have three, four, five movies this week that I want to talk about, that I want to add to your bucket list of what to watch. My picks for the week for your weekend. All right. And it all comes from Turner Classic Movies, and I'd like you to check them out. So let's get started right now. This goes back to 1960, Where the Boys Are, starring Dolores Hart and Barbara Nichols. Also, Connie Francis did the musical track to that, and she's going to be on there as well. They just don't have her name here, but I just wanted to throw Connie Francis out because she's in that movie. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. It's a mad, 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 mad world. A nice comedy. It's a long movie, and it's going back to 1963, starring Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, and Sid Caesar. Just a few. It was what they call a star-studded movie. A lot of people were on it. I can't mention all the names, but these are the names you can find for sure on there. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can see that Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Imitation of Life. Now, you know they had two versions of it. The original version back in 1933 and the one remake from 1959. And this is the one that I grew up with, 1959. I've seen both of them, but I got to tell you, even though I'm not good on remakes of anything, this was the best one with Lana Turner, John Gavin, and Sandra Dee. And of course, that's coming on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's Imitation of Life. I hope you get a chance to see that one. All right. Father of the Bride from 1950, Spencer Tracy again with Joan Bennett and Elizabeth Taylor. And that's also on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's a nice little comedy, a black and white comedy back in 1950. And Life with Father, another black and white. This goes back to 1947, starring William Powell, Irene Dunn, and Elizabeth Taylor once again. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out at Sunday at 9:45 p.m. Now, if you don't get a chance to watch these movies in real time, you don't get a chance to do it, it's not your convenience, you could always DVR these movies. You can DVR them and you can watch them at another time, at your own time convenience. You can do that too, you know? So that's a good idea. That's one of the good things about technology. You can do things like that. Okay. So do that. Now, go to Turner Classic Movies too and go to the program guide. Go to the program guide and look at, there may be other movies that I didn't mention only because these are my picks of the week. And but there may be other ones that may tickle your fancy, and you might want to check those out too. Okay. And then while you're there, you have all of those free movies there on demand. And they have a chock full of them from A to Z. And of course, there are a lot of children's programs, sporting events. You have all the networks there. If you missed your favorite soap opera or your favorite sporting events, you can always go back into it the following day or so whenever it's posted, and you can check it out again. You know, because a lot of people miss a lot of things, and the beauty of it, you can always check it out again. So please do that. And and did I mention those Lifetime movies? You like those Lifetime movies? I love them. Lifetime is on the icon there. You can check that out as well. See what you got. See what's available. It's all there. And you let me know how you like these movies. So let me go back and talk these movies again. Okay, here we are. Where the Boys Are with Dolores Hart and Barbara Nichols, Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. It's a mad, 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 mad world with Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, and Sid Caesar. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's on Saturday. That's 5 p.m. Eastern. The Imitation of Life from 1959. Lana Turner, John Gavin, and Sandra Dee. Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Father of the Bride with Spencer Tracy, Joan Bennett, and Elizabeth Taylor. Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Life with Father with William Powell, Irene Dunn, and Elizabeth Taylor. Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 9:45 p.m. I hope you get a chance to watch these movies. They're great movies. I will steer you no wrong. Okay, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who come in tonight, please pass the information that we're no longer on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We'll be posting the show on Facebook, but we don't come live on Facebook anymore. We transitioned over here to YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's YouTube Live from now on. So pass that information on to your friends. We really would appreciate that. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go, but I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and I'll be here for the coffee hour. Brian Camp is not going to be with me, but he is going to be leaving me information on sports. We'll recite all of that for you. So please meet us back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with coffee in hand. And then come back here again next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. Okay, Brian Camp will be here, and he'll have the latest developments in today's world of sports. And of course, we look forward to seeing you as well. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.